Taiwan under Trump's 2025 tariff strategy, linking industry-specific profits to international legal positioning. Introduction. On April 2, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a 32% reciprocal tariff on certain Taiwanese industries, primarily targeting bicycles, machinery, and plastic products. Taiwan was subjected to such high tariffs in its capacity as a separate customs territory. The announcement sent shockwaves through specific sectors, with some even declaring that Taiwan's economy faced an unprecedented crisis. However, a closer analysis reveals that the overall economic impact on Taiwan may not be as severe as sensationalized by public discourse. In essence, this tariff policy primarily affects the cost structures of specific industries, rather than undermining the fundamental foundations of Taiwan's economy. What Taiwan should be reflecting on more deeply, however, is the long-standing issue of its unresolved international legal identity. The lack of international recognition for the Republic of China nationality imposed in Taiwan has consistently led to unnecessary losses. If Taiwan's legal status under international law were clearly defined, such tariff issues could likely be prevented at their root. This article aims to examine the real impact of Trump's tariff policy, identifying the true issue not as the tariff itself, but rather the prolonged ambiguity in Taiwan's international status, an ambiguity that results in Taiwanese businesses being treated as foreign entities, thus incurring avoidable costs. The reality of Trump's tariff policy, impact on sectoral profitability, not the entire economy. According to the Trump administration, the reciprocal tariff measure specifically targets Taiwan's traditional export-advantaged sectors, namely bicycles, machinery, and plastic products, due to their substantial trade surpluses in the U.S. market. On the surface, the 32% tariff certainly increases the cost of these goods in the U.S., which affects profit margins. However, it is crucial to emphasize that this only reduces profitability for certain businesses. It does not plunge Taiwan's economy into a fundamental crisis. Take the bicycle industry as an example. Taiwanese bicycles have long been known for high quality and added value. Although the tariffs raise costs, brand competitiveness and product quality remain intact. Some companies have already announced plans to shift portions of their production lines to Southeast Asia or the U.S., thereby mitigating the impact through strategic adjustments. In other words, market mechanisms are inherently flexible and adaptable. The outcry from businesses reflects dissatisfaction over shrinking profits rather than existential threats to their survival. A similar dynamic can be seen in the machinery and plastics industries. While some companies are significantly affected, others have minimized impact through long-term diversification strategies. This suggests that the actual effect of the tariff policy is to prompt businesses to rethink global strategies, not to paralyze Taiwan's economy. A more critical question is, why is the U.S. imposing such steep tariffs on Taiwan's products under the status of a separate customs territory? The answer lies in Taiwan's unresolved status under international law. According to international legal principles, especially the 1951 San Francisco Peace Treaty, Taiwan's post-World War II sovereignty remains undetermined. Japan renounced its claim over Taiwan but did not transfer sovereignty to any specific entity. Under Article 23 of the treaty, the United States, as the principal occupying power of Taiwan, has held legal responsibility for managing the territory since 1945. From a legal standpoint, Taiwan should not be treated as a conventional, separate customs territory, but rather as an undetermined territory under U.S. military occupation. All external trade involving Taiwan, including tariff policies, should fall under the purview of U.S. administrative authority as the occupying power. Following the Communist Party's victory in the Chinese Civil War in 1949, around 2 million military and civilian personnel affiliated with the Kuomintang, KMT-led Republic of China government retreated to Taiwan and assumed control of the island. This development blurred and distorted Taiwan's rightful international legal status, leading portions of the international community to erroneously regard Taiwan as part of China. Ironically, Trump's tariff adjustment, by treating Taiwan separately from China and publicizing it globally, affirms that Taiwan is not part of China. Yet, the territory remains legally undetermined, and thus continues to be treated as a separate customs territory. This status results in Taiwanese goods being subjected to import tariffs in the U.S., adding unnecessary costs to various industries. Would Taiwan face these tariff issues without the Republic of China regime? If the Republic of China regime were not administering Taiwan, the island could potentially enjoy a status similar to Puerto Rico, an unincorporated U.S. territory that does not face import tariffs when entering the U.S. market. Under the U.S. constitutional framework, Puerto Rican products are treated as domestic goods and are only subject to standard domestic tax rates, not foreign import tariffs. In other words, the challenges facing Taiwan's industries are not solely driven by global market conditions but also stem from incorrect legal positioning. Should Taiwan's international legal status be clearly defined as an undetermined territory under U.S. military occupation, the current tariff burdens could be fundamentally resolved. Tariff policy and the real economic concerns of the people. From a macroeconomic perspective, what truly affects the day-to-day lives of Taiwanese citizens is not tariff adjustments for exporters, but the internal stability of Taiwan's economy. Specifically, people's quality of life is shaped primarily by inflation or deflation, not whether a specific industry faces a 32% export tariff. Uncontrolled inflation erodes purchasing power and drives up prices, while deflation can stagnate the economy and increase unemployment. These are the economic conditions that directly impact the general public. In contrast, increased tariff costs mainly affect the profit margins of certain export sectors, rather than the daily livelihoods of ordinary people. Therefore, when public opinion inflates the narrative that Trump's tariffs are causing serious harm to Taiwan's entire economy, the public must remain clear-eyed, distinguishing between the profit losses of specific industries and their own personal economic well-being. Conclusion: the real solution lies in defining Taiwan's legal status. President Trump's announcement of a 32% reciprocal tariff on select Taiwanese industries is fundamentally a commercial issue, not an existential economic crisis. What the people of Taiwan should focus on and support is the clear legal definition of Taiwan's international identity, so that Taiwan can enjoy internal U.S. market treatment akin to that of Puerto Rico, eliminating these tariff complications at their root. Taiwan's path to long-term security and economic prosperity does not lie in endless debates over profit margins, but in resolving the historical question of its international legal status. This is the only solution that truly serves the interests of all Taiwanese people.